5-minute video. It just kind of overviews everything that we're gonna kind of go over and just kind of give y'all a concept of what we're looking at. So hopefully I can get the thing going.
Your data is valuable. To hackers, it's worth more than gold. Their sending passwords, your banking bills, all to the highest bidder. But McAfee can help stop them.
You can skip now, Sheila. Down that right corner.
The online activity, private.
Yeah. You want to turn it up a tad?
Disciplines of execution.
Well, the volume doesn't list it. Come on.
Gotta love our internet.
The 4 disciplines of execution are designed to create a winnable game. They give you the power to execute your most important goals in the face of competing priorities and distractions. The disciplines are powerful yet simple. They are not, however, simplistic. They can be tricky to apply and sustain because they require us to work differently than we normally do. Discipline 1 is focus on the wildly important. It requires you to focus on less in order to accomplish more. You start by selecting one wildly important goal, or WIG, instead of trying to work out a dozen goals all at once. We're not suggesting you ignore the work. It means saying no to good ideas. They're wired to do more, but there are always more good ideas than there is capacity to execute. When you choose a wildly important goal, you identify the most important objective that won't be achieved unless it gets special attention. In other words, your normal course of business won't make it happen. To define a WIG, identify where you are now, where you want to be, and by when. Said differently, you define a starting line, a finish line, and a deadline. Psychologically, it's very important to have a single measure of success. This is the discipline of focus, and it's the first step to creating a winnable game. Discipline 2 is act on the lead measures. No matter what you're trying to achieve, your success will be based on 2 kinds of measures, lag and lead. Lag measures track the success of your wildly important goal. Lags are measures you spend time losing sleep over, like revenue, profit, quality, customer satisfaction. They're called lags because by the time you see them, the performance that drove them has already passed. You can't do anything to fix them. They're history. In contrast, lead measures track the critical activities that drive or lead to the lag measure. They predict the success of the lag measure and are influenced directly by the team. A common example of a lag measure is weight loss. Which activities or lead measures will lead to weight loss, right? Diet and exercise. Proper diet and exercise predict the success of weight loss and their activities we can directly influence. Now, simple enough, but be careful. Even the smartest people fall into the trap of fixating on a lag measure they can't directly influence. This is because lags are easier to measure and they represent the result we ultimately want. Think of a lead measure as a lever that moves your wildly important goal. Discipline 3 is keeping a compelling scoreboard. People play differently when they are keeping score. If you doubt this, watch a group of teenagers playing basketball. See how the game changes the minute scorekeeping begins. It's not a subtle change. The lag and lead measures won't have much meaning to the team unless they can see the progress in real time. Bowling through a curtain is not that much fun. Discipline 3 is the discipline of engagement. People perform best when they are emotionally engaged, and the highest level of engagement comes when people know the score, whether they are winning or losing the game. It's that simple. The best scoreboard is designed for and often by the players. A player's scoreboard is quite different from the complex scoreboard coaches love to make. If players know the score, if they can influence the lead measure, and if the lead measure moves the lag measures, you know you have a winnable game. Disciplines 1, 2, and 3 are nothing more than a formula for creating a winnable game. Discipline 4 is how we play that game. Discipline 4 is create a cadence of accountability. The cadence of accountability is a rhythm of regular and frequent team meetings that focus on the wildly important goal. These meetings happen weekly, sometimes daily. Ideally, they last no more than 20 minutes. In that brief time, team members hold each other accountable for commitments made to move the score. The secret to Discipline 4, in addition to the weekly cadence, are the commitments that team members create in the meeting. One by one, team members answer a simple question. What are the 1 or 2 most important things I can do this week that will have the biggest impact on the scoreboard? In the meeting, each team member reports first if they met last week's commitments, second, if the commitments move the lead and lag measure on the scoreboard, and finally, which commitments they will make for the upcoming week. People are more likely to commit to their own ideas than to orders from above. And when individuals commit to their fellow team members, not only to the boss, the commitment goes beyond professional job performance to become a personal promise. When the team sees they are having a direct impact on the wildly important goal, they know they are winning. And nothing drives morale and engagement more than winning.
Okay, so our wildly important goal that we are wanting to implement is forward booking. Focus like wellness appointments, booking like a year out. We already kind of booked like our ear rechecks, some of the skin issues, eye issues every 2 weeks. So we kind of got that going as far as forward booking. Surgery team books dentals a year out. So we've kind of got that going. We're at like 17.9% right now on forward booking. Our goal is 65%. So what we're wanting to do, and we want y'all's input too, want you.
40,000 people that were admitted to a hospital.
I say just power it down.
So what we're wanting to do is try to, and take a point or like we said, we're in a competition with other clinics. So we're gonna be tracking our, how well we're doing weekly. At the end of the month, we may do a total tally. Hopefully we can set goals per month to where if we reach this goal, maybe we can do a luncheon, or at the end of this, maybe do an outing with the whole clinic, just based on how y'all would prefer to do it. We were talking about individual tracking, maybe do separate groups of tracking, because we have different positions. So we have our floaters that may not have the opportunity to forward book. Surgery team, they're only gonna be forward booking on surgery. So it's, in all fairness to everyone, kind of mix and mingle some people to where you're working as a small group, to where it's more fair across the board. Doctors are gonna be involved because when we go to the human doctor, we go for a checkup or a physical or whatever. Most doctors will tell you, I wanna see you in 6 months, or I wanna see you in a year. And the majority of the time I go, they go ahead and book that appointment. That's what we wanna get into. That way, these are booked. It'll cut down on phone calls to CSRs every year. Hopefully in the long run, they won't be having to answer as many phone calls, booking appointments, because they'll already be booked. We will, 30 days out, send the client a reminder, hey, we had you forward booked for this appointment, and then remind them again in about 2 weeks till, and then they'll do the verbal call. That way, if they need to change it, they have plenty of opportunity. So we'd like for the doctors to take the first step, and this is just kind of what we came up with. If y'all have input on what would be a better way to do this, or have any ideas, We wanna hear them. We'd like for doctors to, just say, okay, I'd like to see you again in a year. And, technicians who are the doctor's techs will go ahead and book that appointment out in a year. So we'll need to kind of work out who's gonna do the recheck cards, things like that, cause QC gets backed up. So we'll have, that's kind of where, give us some input on what y'all think would be best. Eyes, ears, skin, kind of continue the 2 weeks out on those. We'd like to implement more on like skin,
Upper respiratory.
UTIs, infections
heart.
on cats, UTIs, just to have a recheck come in to, see where we're at, make sure the infection is gone. Initial heart diagnosis in 2 weeks, just, we put them on the medication, just see where we're at, how the patient's responding to that medication.
And Dr. Webb will be following up with the doctors, so you can all talk about what you feel would be the best point of recheck based on time and what we're rechecking for. And then we'll let the girls know.
So techs, I know Anna's in the tech position a lot, so in order for her to get in, go ahead and book out a tech appointment a year out for vaccines. They can always change it, and if they need to change it to a doctor's appointment, they can do that. Vice versa, if we book out a doctor wellness and the client decides they just want tech, they'll have plenty of time to make that adjustment.
So if somebody came in on a Wednesday at 1 o'clock to do their vaccines, just hit your calendar on your computer and jump out 1 year and go ahead and schedule them Wednesday around 1 o'clock that following year. A lot of times people are coming in, we have noticed when it's convenient for them, whether that be a morning appointment or an afternoon appointment, and usually around that time. But like Sheila's saying, they're gonna have the opportunity 30 days out to change that, even up to 2 weeks out to change that. Okay, so just don't even worry about saying when would you, nobody knows their schedule a year out. Heck, I don't know what I'm doing next week, let alone a year out, right? And most of us don't. So just go ahead and do like what we do with the dentals. Go ahead and book it out to that day, around that time frame for that next year. Or 6 months, or 2 weeks, whatever type of recheck it is, okay?
Other things we'll need to do is find a way to track. So we kind of threw some ideas. At first we were talking about like maybe putting a ball in a jar or a marble in a jar or something. But then we're like, what if a dog knocks that over? Such and such. So we were talking about maybe getting a bag with some little chips. So every time you forward book an appointment, you just put your little chip in. We may, if we divide it into groups, may have a different color for each group. Kind of think about things like that. If y'all have a better way of tracking, give us your ideas. We also are gonna need people we're gonna have to have like a visual of where we're at. How well did we do? I know we have some very creative people here. Genevieve.
Yeah.
Sarah. We're gonna provide like poster board, things like that, for us to somehow create
A scoreboard.
a scoreboard. And we'll, like when we have downtime, we'll be able to work on that. We're gonna try to initiate this when?
Probably within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, once we
We
get
had a
everybody
lot
back on
going on
team.
with the grand opening and everything, so Dr. Webb's like, no, I wanna win this thing.
Yeah.
So, and he has a side bet going on, just so y'all know.
Yes, he didn't know about that, but that's been going on for a few weeks, so yeah.
So he's like, I wanna win. So we were like talking about pushing out. He's like, no. So, just kinda in the week, think about things. If y'all have any good ideas on how to track, how to initiate this or implement it, come to us and let us know. Write it down, hand it off, and then if y'all would like to be like small groups, maybe do one from surgery, a tech, and a doctor's tech, a floater, which I know we change positions all the time, so it's kinda, gonna be hard to get it perfectly even.
And if you guys
But
wanna
we'll do
just
it
do
the
it as a
best way we
team,
can. Yeah.
we'll do it as just one big team, the pet doctor team as a whole.
Yeah.
And every time you personally forward book, whatever we decide to do, whether it be dropping a bead in a jar
Mhm.
or, you know, putting a gold star up by your name, then that's what we'll do. But come up
Yeah.
with some fun, creative games, make this fun, okay? This is on y'all. We're gonna meet every week about this, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes,
Mhm.
to kind of track our progress and see where we are and make sure that we're on point. But let's make this exciting. Let's win for Pet Doctor. Let's beat these other clinics, show them who we are, what we're capable of, okay? Make this fun. And like we said, there will be an incentive once we hit our goal, either at the end of each month, or if you guys want to bank what you would have taken at the end of the month, we can bank it into like a quarterly or an end of the 6 months or whatever, and we could go and do a fun outing like Shenanigans or go bowling or do anything that you guys would like to do with that. That's up to you. How do you see that money being spent? Okay?
When's the deadline that you say is?
Right now, our main first deadline is probably gonna be around the 12 mark week.
Yeah.
We're being held accountable on a call every week with all the other clinics. So once a week, we get on a call and all those other clinics on and all this progress is gonna get checked.
Yeah.
So, let's do it. All
Any
right, let's make it fun.
Anybody have any questions? Yes.
No question. I think counting those rechecks, every time we put in recheck 6 months, recheck 2 weeks, we can make sure to have like enough that can allocate for even a year. Cause I know sometimes if we do that, we'll just change the months to a year or 2 weeks to 1 week. And that can be an easy tally, just if we go in regards to the overall count,
Yeah.
that you'd be able to follow in the computer.
Yeah, that's what we're,
Yeah.
talking about putting that code in, or we
Yes.
may even make a code
Yes.
to where it will be easier to track. I know we have enough codes,
Yeah.
and I know we're like, oh, another thing to have to remember. But just remember, we are in a competition. This
It's a
will
team effort.
benefit the clinic in the long run, because we'll be having those appointments scheduled. You know, hopefully more revenue down the road, things like that.
And
So-
more revenue for the clinic means more revenue where it needs to go, if you know what I'm saying.
And so with the
So-
recheck cards, are we okay to do those ourselves? 'Cause
That's
there's a
what we
couple
would
that
like
I've
to
done.
do.
Okay.
Yes.
Is for just the technician in the room to go ahead and do it. Because like, you have one QC person and you have 4 people wanting a QC and they're having to write recheck cards, that takes time.
Yes.
You know, Natalie can relate, things like that. So, so yeah, I mean, whatever y'all feel would be the easiest,
Yeah.
I think that would be the
'Cause in
best.
each room there are cards on the
Exactly,
recorder.
yes,
So
there are.
with the boosters, I've just been grabbing the card and writing it down and giving
Yep,
it to them.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
we were hoping y'all would want to do, but again, we want you to help, you know, provide your feedback as to what feels good to you, because you're only gonna do it if you're enjoying what you're doing. All right, so tell us what that looks like.
Should we keep a tally of every time the doctor you know,
Yeah, we're gonna,
separate?
yeah, keep all of that tallied up. We've got
So
a,
that
I'm
the
waiting
doctors
for
can have a.
Joni, so we can kind of figure out what that's gonna look like through our software system,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. But
Okay.
yeah, write those cards right then and there. Get
So,
them in hand.
and I mean, like we said, you know, at the end of the day, we can do the little bag with the little chips.
Mhm.
Just at the end of the day, we can say, okay, we rebooked, or we forward booked 15 today,
Mhm.
you know, things like that, so.
So let's say one of our first goals is gonna be for y'all to decide what's this gonna look like. Are we doing small groups, or are we gonna do a main group, a pet doctor group as a whole? Everybody is a player, everybody's, you know, forward booking, no matter what position they're in, is gonna help add up that tally for the end of the day, okay?
For that whole.
You like everybody as a
Right.
whole?
That's gonna be easier
Okay.
to track.
It is.
Easier to, you know, less confusion, things like that. so.
Okay, so then, how about this? Tell me your thoughts. What if we set a daily goal? I'm gonna say girls out and guys, let's set a goal for 20 forward booked appointments a day. I'm just fictitiously saying here. And we're gonna keep that up there. Let's say, for instance, we hit 22. We'll tally it up at the end of the day. We've got Natalie and Abigail that can tally that number up for us at the end of the day and let us know if we have not hit our goal, met our goal, or exceeded our goal. And then we will reset a goal for the upcoming week once we start getting into our rhythm of what this is looking like. Do you want to do a daily total, or do you want to just mark, and then we do a weekly total? What do you like best? Cause I need to know where to set your goal, either daily or
I would
weekly.
say weekly, cause there's some days that we're just like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on,
Okay.
it's hard to keep up with
Yeah.
it.
So a weekly, alright, so we'll do a weekly goal, okay? And then can y'all put together a scoreboard? I don't care what that looks like. Make it creative, make it fun, but make it trackable. So when we look at that at the end of the week, we know exactly how many appointments y'all did. If you guys want beads in a jar, every time you do it, you drop a bead in a jar, well then we'll figure out where we're gonna do that. If you wanna put a chip in a bag that we hang up over here, we'll put a chip in a bag, like, you know, I'm talking like a checker
Yeah.
chip. We can do something like that.
I'm not
Okay.
saying beat. I know they always go to check out if you want to involve CSRs, kind of that handoff to check out.
Yep,
Have the jar somewhere right around there. And if y'all have a forward book, that way we know everybody's going by there regardless.
Mhm.
And that can be a nice way as you're walking up, got one.
Perfect.
That'd be a good count.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
a
do
good
that.
idea, definitely, cause the CSRs are kind of, we figure the first step's gonna be the doctors. I wanna see Fluffy back in a year. Once your technician hears that, she's gonna go ahead and pop on that calendar, she's gonna forward book, write that appointment card, make sure it goes in the hand of the client. And that third and final stop's gonna be the CSR desk, where they're gonna make sure that they see that that's been forward booked and that a recheck card has been issued or given. And so if they don't see that, they will ask, you were given a card for your forward booking appointment, correct? If somebody says, hey, I'm not gonna commit to booking a year out, just say, well, we're gonna go ahead and put it on the books for you. You're gonna get a notice a month ahead of time, so you can kind of go over your schedule, see if it works for you. We are filling up quickly. We are a growing clinic, so we just wanna be able to secure your pet's appointment.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like to you, whatever that conversation sounds like, that's just an example. That's again, up to y'all, okay?
So for like Tech, does it include like 4-week puppy boosters and Librellas and saddle
You
points?
can go ahead and
Book those a month
book
out,
those.
okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So that counts towards all this?
Mhm.
You could even do nail trims too, like if they come in for like every
For
3 or 4
anal
weeks.
Like anal lands, nail
Mhm.
trims, the ones I know that always come in.
Yeah, the
for
ones that come
certain-
in and say,
they're all
hey, you want me
points.
to go ahead and
Speak up.
book your appointment?
Okay.
And then when you book
Even-
it, put a bead in.
Okay.
Even forward book annual exams.
yes.
You see patients that only come in for
Tech.
tech appointments. Get in the habit of saying, hey, it looks like Fluffy hasn't been seen by a doctor in 2 years. Would you like to schedule an annual exam?
We're gonna do that.
Yep, add that on.
And that's the thing, eventually, like, we wanna do this focus now. We've talked about other forward bookings that we'll address later. We don't wanna overwhelm.
Right.
So like chronic patients, that are on chronic medications,
That'll be
things like
down the
that.
road.
That might be something we add later.
Mhm.
But right now, this is our main focus, cause we don't, I know we've had a lot of things implemented after we've came here.
Yes, so we're
So
sorry to put that
we're
on you
trying
so
to-
quickly.
Yeah.
And when does this start again?
Well, get going with
Start
it.
doing it now?
Let's roll. We're putting the ideas together right now, but that doesn't mean we can't forward book today or tomorrow.
Yeah, you can go
Right.
ahead and get in the habit.
Get in the habit and start doing it now, and hey, mark it down on a sticky. I'll get the bead jar picked up. Once you guys tell me that's what you want to do, Dr. Calhoun had a great idea with at the checkout. That works. You guys want beads or chips in a jar? That's what we'll do. I'll go get the supplies.
I think that's the easiest.
You guys want to roll with that?
Yeah, because if
Okay.
you put stars on something, you're gonna have, if somebody gets 10 forward bookings in one day, they're gonna have 10 stars.
So you don't like glitter, is what I'm hearing?
I'm just saying, if you get 10 stars, that's gonna be a crowded little
Yeah.
check. I'm sorry,
Exactly,
one day.
exactly. And like Kevin said, try to get those wellness appointments added on to those forward booked appointments. Make those appointment cards in the rooms, okay? I'll get you supplies for your scoreboard. We're gonna put the scoreboard up where everybody can see it. That's our encouragement. Weekly meetings, I will let you know what day and time that's gonna look like, so keep an eye on the messages that I'm gonna send. I know you get a little inundated, but please open them up and look at them. We will meet briefly, weekly. We're gonna check our progress. I really want us to win this for us and for Dr. Webb, okay?
And we'll be getting feedback from the other clinics. So
Yes.
we'll kind of know. And I mean, be honest with you, we're up against some good clinics. I mean, they're
Very good clinics.
Very good clinics. So we've got tough competition.
Yes, we're already forward booking 17.9%, as Sheila indicated. And if you really stop and think about it, you're already booking forward booking 50% of the time
Yeah.
with your dentals, right? Your rechecks. So we're not really doing anything different. We're just making sure we're doing this for everything as a whole. So keep that in mind. Okay?
What about like surgery, so like a spay or something, and they come in 2 weeks later, or is that counting as a forward booking, like to check the incision?
I don't think that actually qualifies
Okay.
as for, I'm pretty sure, no, this would be coming in
For
for,
something,
yes,
service,
for like your
okay.
ears being rechecked, or your skin, or
Okay.
your wellness annually. Yes, right. And if you have questions, come see me. If my door is closed or someone's in there, shoot me a text on my work phone. We'll clear it, ask Sheila. We all know, Abigail and Natalie will know as well. All right, but we all need to be in this together. We all need to be on the same page. This is everybody working together, not independently, to reach this goal. Okay? Are you excited?
Any other questions? Do we need a pep ride? All right, guys, I guess that's it.
Thank you.